Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Spencer Buckland. I'm the President of Emergency Response Assistance Canada. I just want to welcome you all to our second annual ERAC update and webinar for our planned participants. Our team includes here at the Calgary office and in Montreal, Cheryl Gallagher, Manager of Process and Services, Don Merriam, Operations Manager for LPG, who's based out of Montreal, Patrick Knight, our Operations Manager for Flammable Liquids, Louis Ethier, one of our Technical Advisors, who is also based out of Montreal, Linus Lau is our Manager of Finance, Shandy Hildebrand, our Administrative Assistant, and Carly Milhausen, our Executive Assistant, as well here in Calgary. I'd also like to take this opportunity this afternoon to introduce to you Lance Bouchy, our newest member of the ERAC team, who unfortunately isn't able to be here right now, but he's actually in some of our advanced training that we're providing him with. So Lance has just recently joined our team as a technical advisor. He comes from Peace River and comes to us with extensive background in the fire service. Lance will be responsible for coordinating emergency preparedness and response-related activities, regional and LPG firefighter training, and providing technical advice on site at a dangerous goods incident for the products or container or fire protection and response processes, and also be involved in developing new ERAC training and competency programs. During this webinar, we will have some time for questions later on, and we'll ask that you be using the GoToWebinar question function. So if you take a moment to find it on the control panel, you can type and send your questions at any time during this webinar. So as you all know, incidents involving flammable gases and liquids can happen anytime and any place. When they do, our organization is working on your behalf, our plan members, and we're available 24/7, 365 days of the year. We are a nonprofit organization specializing in emergency preparedness and response that helps to develop, implement, and respond to all of your emergency response assistance plan needs. Today I just wanted to do also a little quick review on ERAC's governance. The ERAC is governed by a 15-member board of directors, and this board of directors meets with me 4 times a year. And the board of directors is made up of retailers, wholesalers, producers, and transporters from all over Canada, representing different regions and the makeup of the wholesalers, producers, and retailers, as I've mentioned. So, as a response organization working for you, our plan members, ERAC continues to recruit and retain the best response teams, remedial measures advisors, and technical advisors to work on your behalf. We're very proud of our strong network and our relationships with our network of responders. All 24 response teams, 31 remedial measures advisors, and 7 technical advisors will have been successfully trained, assessed, and approved by ERAC by the end of 2016. It's been an amazing accomplishment this year. To enhance our response capabilities, we're currently working on adding 2 additional LPG response teams in 2017, and they'll be located in the interior of British Columbia and in our second team going into Quebec. ERAC is currently recruiting for remedial measures advisors in the province of Saskatchewan. Should your organization have an individual in mind that would meet the role requirements, we'd ask that you please contact Don Merriam, our operations manager for LPG. I also want to take a little bit of time to provide you with more information on our training updates. This year, we provided a full-scale rail emergency exercise in September in conjunction with CN and held. This was the second largest one that we've provided this year, which was a full-scale rail emergency training event where we did 3 simultaneous live transfers in Brampton, Ontario. At that event, similar to the one held in Edmonton where we had 3 response teams, we had over 40 observers, which included our planned participants, ERAC board members, and Transport Canada. We are extremely proud of these response teams, the RMAs and those technical advisors that work with us and participate in these exercises year over year, but particularly in this major event. Next year, we'll be offering again to you, our plan members, to come out and observe at our next major exercises held in the spring of 2017 and again in the fall of 2017. Patrick Knight here is with us here today, our operations manager for the flammable liquid. Patrick, do you know the dates and location?
We'll be holding one in Coquitlam, BC, in conjunction with Canadian Pacific Railway. It'll be the week of the 23rd of March, I believe it is. We'll be doing the second event in St. John, New Brunswick, and that will be held in June, the third week.
And of course, we'll be sending out invites for all of these events well in advance for any of those observers and plan members that want to get out and experience firsthand how ERAC trains responders on your behalf. The regional training this year, as I mentioned earlier, was an unprecedented success, with over 26 successful regional training events were held where we trained, assessed, and approved our responders on your behalf. A list of those regional training events are available on our website at erac.org. In addition, in 2017, ERAC is holding its next national training forum for all of our responders. That'll be happening in May 2017 in Calgary. It is our time where our national training forum is an opportunity for our valued ERAC responders, which now are over 400, to build relationships and learn information that will assist them over and above their regional training activities in their day-to-day work activities, whether they're working for ERAC or within other contracts. This forum will be filled with dynamic industry topic-related guest speakers, information sessions, training, and case studies. In the last national forum, we had the honor of having General Dallaire from the Canadian Armed Forces, with one of the most decorated generals in the history of Canadian Armed Forces, attend as our keynote address speaker. And this year we are set up for other great speakers coming forward that will help our response teams. We also have really moved into supporting first responder and other firefighter training events. So back in August, ERAC conducted a 1.5-day industrial firefighter training course at the Lakeland College Emergency Training Center in Vermilion. The training course provided industrial firefighters a basic operations level, bulk flammable liquid, offensive and defensive tactics, and the use of ERAC's fire suppression trailers. We now have 6 of those fire suppression trailers located strategically across Canada. There were a total of 5 industrial firefighter teams that participated in this training, along with 18 planned participant members in industry and regulatory stakeholders observing this training. I'd also like to take this time to thank CP, CN, and the Rail Association of Canada for their participation in making this training successful. This training for our industrial firefighters was specific to your ERAC to ensure that those teams that we've named continue to get annual training on ERAC response to large flammable liquid rail firefighting exercises. In addition, on behalf of our plan members, taking on part of the social responsibility to help first responders from coast to coast, we launched the first ever first responder LPG firefighter training back in July. ERAC has signed up more than 500 firefighters for the LPG awareness training, which is done online. And we have successfully conducted 5 LPG Level 1 mobile operations training exercises in the Ontario area with over 105 firefighters in attendance. Basically, the way it works is, any municipal or volunteer firefighter from coast to coast in Canada can log on and get registered to take the awareness level training, which is a prerequisite for the Level 1 LPG mobile operations training, where we actually roll up with prop trailers to their department and provide 2 days of training and issue certification. This LPG firefighter training couldn't be possible without you and the industry support you provide as plan participants. You have the option, in addition to the support that we provide, this can't happen without other donations and sponsorship for this firefighter training. So we open it up and we ask of you again that if you're interested in sponsoring firefighters for the Level 1 training at $350 per head, or you can also donate propane for the use in these training exercises. For more information on how to sponsor a firefighter or to donate propane, please visit our website at erac.org, or you can contact any of us directly here at ERAC. The next slide, I just want to share with you just a couple of slides of our numerous KPIs, or key performance indicators, that we're constantly monitoring and reporting to our board of directors, our operating committees, our technical advisors, and of course the management team here at ERAC are constantly monitoring. This particular KPI that you see reflects the activation and notifications to date and incidents by province for LPG and flammable incidents. To date, we've had a total of 13 incidents that ERAC as responders have responded to this year. These numbers are significantly down from previous years based on the volume of flammable liquids transported and the volume of LPG being transported, particularly by rail. Those volumes have gone down significantly over the last couple of years, and I'm sure you're all aware of that downturn. The next key performance indicator slide is just really reflecting just how often you can see how many times we're getting notifications, but we're actually not putting anyone out, boots on the ground, to those incidents, but we will provide technical advice online through our home-based coordinators and the emergency call center in these notifications. So as we move forward, the ERAC board, who is responsible in a non-profit organization to help the ERAC management team and myself develop and approve the strategic initiatives. And there has been significant change over the last year on what those initiatives are, over and above our core business of supporting our existing ERAC coverage. And that is, we are now have online and is ready for you a Plan Participant Readiness and Review program. ERAC has successfully launched the Plan Participant Readiness and Review program. The tool is designed for you at your organization's level in response to your ERAC activation to really understand your own roles and responsibilities internally, and also understand ERAC's roles. So the tool includes ERAC awareness, and it's available online. It's also a self-assessment questionnaire for you to use to do your own self-assessment, and once the self-assessment is completed, that's shared with our team here, and from that we will come in and provide you with updates through webinar or in-house presentations or further follow-up to that self-assessment. And then finally we'll do an annual follow-up to that. If you want to learn more information about this program, please again visit our website or contact Don Mariam, our operations manager for LPG. In addition, our plan participants have requested ERAC to offer a one-stop shop service to meet their emergency preparedness and response needs. So you've come to us asking, we want you to be able to provide us with a one-call number for more of our emergency management needs. We've brought that to the board, and they recently reviewed and approved moving forward with offering support for E2 planning, drills and exercises around E2 planning, and additional ERACable dangerous goods services and non-ERACable dangerous goods services. So to be a little bit more specific with the E2 plans, it's really about, it's a regulatory requirement under Environment and Climate Change Canada for all industries that have large volumes of hazardous substance produced or stored at their facilities to have plans in place, that the plans are reviewed, and that training and drill compliance are requirements of that. And we can help you with that. If you need further information on that, please contact Don Merriam, Operations Manager of LPG. The next one we got the support to move forward on was many of you require other ERAPs aside from either a flammable liquid ERAP by rail or an LPG ERAPs by rail, road, and of course our ability to respond to your stationary tanks. So we're now offering to you our ability to respond to other classes of dangerous goods that are ERAPable, such as ammonia, LNG, CNG, acids, and bases. For further information in this, please contact Patrick Knight, Operations Manager of Flammable Liquids. In addition, there are numerous dangerous goods that may not be ERAPable, but do require emergency response plans. And we are now offering services to cover those non-ERAPable dangerous goods, and specifically the top 10 commodities involved in incidents across Canada. The board has supported our initiative to be able to respond to those incidents. They include things like fuel oil, LPG, anhydrous ammonia, gasoline, petroleum crude oil, sulfuric acid, corrosive liquids, sodium hydroxide, and flammable liquids. I guess the key point to that is many of those are transported by road, and they are ERAPable by rail, not ERAPable by road, and yet we're doing a ton of training on behalf of our plan members, and we want to be able to offer for those road incidents by your carriers, or if you are a carrier, we can also use, you can use that same 1-800 number and begin to activate teams to respond to those incidents as well. If you're interested in that, again, please, for further information, please contact Patrick Knight, our Operations Manager for the Flammable Liquids. In addition, I want to talk a little bit of other and ongoing initiatives that we will continue to work on as part of ERAC's commitment to our capital program and the development of our equipment caches. So we've done really well over the last year in the purchase of 6 fire suppression trailers, 2 flammable liquid equipment caches, not to mention 1 donated LPG equipment cache. We are now continue on the lookout for other equipment donations that industry has provided us with over the years, but we're always going to ask specifically if you can help us with pumps, hoses, trailers, other fittings, SCBA, as donations to this organization. We'll continue to put those in strategic locations from coast to coast that help to ensure the long-term strength and capability of your ERAP preparedness and response program. So we've got some changes that are coming for 2017, and this is something that we have to address, and it's really recognizing that we are being faced with ongoing regulatory increases and the requirements to be more diligent on your behalf, to have higher levels of training, and the requirements for higher levels of training, and I'll speak to that in a moment. But for the upcoming year in 2017, ERAC has restructured its membership fees, and notification of these fee increases has been included in your 2017 invoice statement. There are 3 different fee increases that will affect LPG and flammable liquids plan participants. Current plan participants that pay fees under $2,000 will see a fee increase to a minimum of $2,000. So just to put that in context, there are some plan members that have access to the full ERAC, the ERAC preparedness, the ERAC training and compliance issues, and everything that ERAC provides for well under $1,000. That is now going to a minimum of $2,000. Some plan participants that are not affected by the minimum fee of $2,000, and I should say, clarify that, plan participants that are not affected by the minimum fee increase of $2,000 will see an increase of 1.5% of your 2016 fees. So overall, there will be an increase of 1.5% to your fees for LPG or flammable liquids if you're not in the category that saw the increase to the $2,000 range. Finally, after great discussion and debate, the Board of Directors, Finance, myself, with the burden of appropriate reporting and documentation and the administrative functions that it takes once we are activated and go to a scene, a decision has been made that there will be a 10% administration fee added to any incident that we actually respond to and have boots on the ground. That being said, there is a maximum that can be charged to that, in that the maximum of administration fee would be $3,000. Some of the events and incidents that we respond to are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and therefore we know that the administration of whether it's a small incident or a large incident, we are putting a cap on that at $3,000. We recognize these increases are difficult in your industry. However, we believe these increases to be very modest and reasonable in providing the level of quality and emergency preparedness and response and the model on a national level to meet all of Transport Canada regulatory requirements. So, in addressing some of those new regulatory requirements that are coming down the pipe, Transport Canada has drafted and is requiring new training profiles for all technical advisors and response team training requirements. We've reviewed these documents. Why? Because Transport Canada points to us as leaders in emergency preparedness and response on behalf of ERACs, and they share their information with us and consult us before they bring it into law. This document was provided to us to give them review and feedback after 1.5 years of emergency response task force meetings that we attended. And we did provide some feedback on the requirements for firefighter training, some of the toxicology requirements, and air quality monitoring that will be required for all technical advisors and response teams going forward. In addition, for a regulatory update, today, Transport Canada just released new reporting requirements that become effective as of December 1st today, requiring new reporting regulations for you as plan members in the event you have a release, partial release, or imminent release. In those regulations, they talk about who should report, when to report, the types of reporting, and the 30-day follow-up report. There are some changes in there. We've provided a link for you to get more details on those reporting requirements. So finally, I just want to again remind you there are many, many ways for you to stay connected with ERAC. We value your feedback, want to know how we can do better, and we are providing you with ERAC quarterly newsletters and emails and invites to events and exercises. We invite you, if you are not one of us, have not signed up at this time, to sign up to receive updates at ERAC.org. And we would ask that if you know others that should be getting this information, to please pass that along and connect with us through the sign up to receive the updates at ERAC.org. And of course, these webinars that we just started, this is the second one. We're planning to do these on a biannual basis to try to keep, again, the lines of communication open with you, our valued plan participants. So I want to take a breath at this point and stop. And at this time, I'd like to see if there's any questions out there from anyone. You can type your question on the question field of the GoTo control panel, or you can click Raise Hand button on the left side of the GoTo control panel. We'll unmute your line at that time. So we have a question here from Richard. Thanks, Richard. The first question is, where can we obtain a copy of the presentation? After this presentation, the actual, not only the presentation, but even the recorded event is going to be made available, and you'll get information emailed to you for all of you that have attended this webinar. Next question. Sorry. Richard, you also, where can we obtain province-specific information as presented in the graphs under the KPIs? Richard, if you want more information specific to this, definitely give us a shout. Either Cheryl or one of our team here will definitely help, and that goes for everybody online. If you have any other questions and we're not getting them all today, then we'll definitely be able to provide that. Yeah, and Nancy, we have a question from you that is asked, there's no BC, that is related to the fact that currently there is no incidence in the BC region, and it actually is probably an error on the graph to show that it's just not on there, but there actually have been no incidents at this point that we've actually responded to. There may be incidents, so I want to clarify those incidents that you see on those key performance indicators doesn't mean there haven't been incidents. It just means that ERAC has not been activated as part of your ERAC or others' ERACs across Canada. At this point, we have one other question here that I'll raise here. The question is, could ERAC share the incident debrief reports or summary reports after activation? And we've heard this feedback, and we're looking into what we can be sharing for the debrief reports after activations in a general sense, and agree that there's significant learning opportunities from reviewing these reports. We need to balance that with confidentiality of information contained in those reports so that it will go directly to the ERAC holder that's involved in that event, but it would not be shared all of specifics with others as far as plan members. So it's a balancing act between how we share and the good learnings from that between confidentiality and other. There's two key performance. There's a question there from Dale. Do the KPI reports, does this include notification or just activation? There's two reports there. One is for the KPI of notification only, and one is for we've actually put team or a responder of some form, TA or RMA, on the ground. And if there's no other questions, we're coming to the end of our time. We're committed to keeping on track with our 30 minutes that we had with you today. I appreciate all of you taking the time with us taking time out for your day. But I also want to leave you with these final thoughts. ERAC is your response organization. We're here to help prepare both your plan and your response capabilities through our valued responder network. And we take great pride in being associated with those responders, both our contractors and our industry teams. And we're proud to provide you as our valued plan participants with those trained, assessed, and approved responders. We are not competing with any of those network contractors. We're in partnership with them, and we entrust your incidents in their hands along with ours. I want to also state that that through that menu of new services, that if you're interested in any of that, please don't hesitate to get more information. Give us a call or by email, and we'll set a time up where we can give you more information on that. We also want to ask that you continue to support our firefighter training capability and supporting that through either propane or actual sponsorship of individual firefighters. And you can contact us on that, on how you get more information. And at this time, the next plan participant webinar will be in the spring of 2017. And I'd ask that you take a moment to complete the survey that you'll receive after this webinar that is ended, and ask you to provide comments to ensure we're providing you with the information you're looking for at these webinars and that we're making it as effective as possible. And at this time, I wish you all safe and happy holidays, and thank you for your patience and attendance at this webinar. Thank you.